During the SSI meeting, Dr. Sheardy and I we will be discussing our regional symposium that we had in January 2020. Our focus was citizen science, the impact on our communities by plastics in our environment. Texas Women University is unique as the nation's largest university primary for women. Over 89% of our students are women, and some 45% are from underrepresented groups. TW is the host institution for Center for Innovation Southwest. Sci Southwest is focused on the needs and interests of individuals in Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, and Texas. The Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry and SCI Southwest, they organize the annual Sensor Regional Meeting every year in late January or early February. We usually design our regional meeting based on obviously the mission of Sensor and also mission of our department. I have the mission statement of our department on this slide. Our mission is to educate socially responsible, civically engaged chemists and biochemists. So, like for instance, in 2018, our theme was civic engagement by design. In 2019, our theme was democracy, civic engagement, and student learning. In the fall of 2019, our department added an environmental chemistry track to the existing degree programs to focus on environmental challenges. As part of this track, the department has been developing a departmental-wide undergraduate research project addressing the environmental impact of plastics in air, water, and soil. The overall goals of this project is to educate the public about the plastics and also figure out how to prevent future contamination. So as part of this effort, our 5th annual regional meeting was focused on the impact on our communities by plastic in our environment. The idea for the topic of the symposium came along after a conversation between Dr. Sheardy and Dr. Middlecamp about our environmental chemistry program, and Kathy suggested to have the plastic as our theme for our regional meeting. And she also suggested hosting the event as a zero impact event. But the most important part is she helped us to have this event as a zero impact event. So with the help of Dr. Middlecamp and her students, we put together the TW Zero Impact team, which we had undergraduate students, Liliana, Raven, Jessica, Emily, and Yesenia, under supervision of faculty advisor, Ms. Taylor. And we also had 2 students. Kathy sent us 2 students, Riley and Katie from University of Wisconsin, to help us to put together this event. And they did research and they came up with recommendations for this event that some of these recommendations will be discussed in our presentation during the SSI meeting. We had a very fantastic lineup of speakers. Our plenary was Dr. Middlecamp and Dr. Stephen Carroll at the end of the day, but other also, as you can see, some of these topics that we will be discussing some of these topics during our presentation. Dr. Middlecamp also talked about the idea of planning the event as a zero event to minimize environmental impact. So the inside story also was helping basically our students, also our undergraduate students, and Riley and Katie from Wisconsin, they also were part of these presentations, talk about their experience and what they have learned and what they're going to do moving forward. Throughout the day, we had our speakers presenting information, ideas about the use of plastic in our daily lives, the impact of plastic, and also how it's impact environment and also our health. So we will be discussing a little bit of this during our presentation during the SSI. But what was important is like everybody is ready to learn about plastics. It's time now, and because of the importance of the topic, we got a very good media attention that we get some during some of our annual meetings, but this year was wider. And so, for instance, the Denton Chronic is the local newspaper for Denton. They picked up on the news and they sent the reporter and they wrote an article about it, and they quoted Kathy as, it's not about recycling. In fact, it may never have been about recycling. It's about cutting it off at the source before we ever need to recycle that. Our student newspaper also wrote a story about our event, and Dallas newspaper also picked up on that and talked about this event. So we got some attention, and we are very excited that the world wants to hear about this problem. During the presentation in SSI, we will talk about what is the difference between zero impact and zero waste event. What are our goals? What were our goals? And did we achieve them? What we're gonna do moving forward? How are we gonna use what we have learned in future events, starting from a very small seminar program we have to other bigger meetings we had. Our events was very successful. The main thanks is to the TW and Wisconsin Zero event team. They did a fantastic job, and Dr. Sheardy and I will be talking about the recommendations and things they came up with, like for instance, how to use coffee cups and metal silverwares instead of plastic, how to use reusable name tags. During the event, we did not do any paper scheduling or programming. We used everything was electronic, and we'll be discussing that a little bit more. But there are many offices to thank for that I have put here on this slide. We are very excited about SSI this year. It's going to be virtual, but we hope to see a lot of our old friends and also make some new friends. See you all soon. Thank you.